wanted to come and talk to you guys about this word FEAR, fear. People will break it down. They'll call it false evidence appearing real. We got all these different things on what it actually stands for. Folks, time to simplify it. Fear is never, did I say that? Never your issue. Fear is a result that is tied to a specific story. So in other words, if you write a story that when I fall off the roof, I'm going to hit the ground, I'm going to die, there's fear attached to that story. Anyone that believes that story is automatically going to have fear. Why? Fear is attached. It is a result of that story. That's why my whole focus is to get people to understand it's all about the stories. You change the story, you automatically change your feelings. So at the same time, if I believe it's not possible for me to ever hit the ground, I can jump from an airplane and the parachute will always, it's always going to open. It's going to get me down. I'm enjoying the journey. Folks, I'm saying great things about the jump. Therefore, that particular story has joy, excitement attached to the story. So if I believe those things, and you know I say believe, because if I don't believe them, it don't really matter. It's going to be the story that I really believe in, the result that's tied to that particular story, whether it's fear, happiness, sadness, whatever's tied to it. That's really what I'm trying to get people to understand. It's all about the stories. Because if my story, which it is, jumping out of that airplane, it might not open up. Well, the thought of what's going to happen after it don't open up has fear tied to that story. You guys follow me? Fear's not the issue. It's the story. If I change the story, fear disappears. Why? Because it won't be tied to the other story. Does that make sense? Again, this is about simplifying life. Quit. And the reason I'm making a big point of this, and people go, well, why is that a big deal? Because if I don't know what the real issue is, I can't address it. Does that make sense? I can't address an issue if I don't even know what it is. So I'm told I need to overcome my fears. You know, if anything gets in your path, you need to Folks, no, I don't. I need to understand if I wrote a story that has created fear, I don't have to worry about fear. I just have to change the story. And fear is not attached to the new story, then I won't have fear. It's that simple. Folks, I know people, that's just too simple. Think about it though. Don't it make sense? So don't worry about fear. Just understand, if you need to get across the road and you wrote a story that has created fear, you need to change the story or you're never going to cross to go make it happen. Even when people say, just go do it. If I don't change the story, I ain't going to just do it. I may change the story temporarily and saying, okay, what's the worst can happen? It doesn't matter what I say to make me go do it. I've changed the story from what it was, which is why I took the step forward and jumped out the plane. It ain't because I overcame fear. It's because I wrote a story. It may be a quick story, but I wrote it and I said, okay, I'm just going for it. Because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whatever story I wrote real quick had something attached to it, but I changed the story. If I kept staying with the story, I'm going to hit the ground. Folks, I ain't jumping. You're going to have to push me. It's the only way it's going to happen. I'm personally not going to jump as long as that's the story. So I know I'm driving it home, but I hope you guys get it. It's all about the stories. Change the story. Fear's gone. It ain't right. It ain't wrong.